Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to church school with Ms Valerie and Ms Joanne. Oh, shoot, me, I'm
No, you're gone.
It happened again. She got herself off. Let me text her again. Something she's pushing is causing her to get booted. I'm texting her.
And yet the light says recording.
Yeah, we're still recording, but I can still edit this all out.
You're gonna edit out the thing now you're on, but connecting to audio with Valerie.
We're trying to get back on right now.
And nobody can get rid of this thing in front of everybody that I have.
Oh,
I can see you, but that sign is in front of your face.
just going to start, okay? Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to church school with Ms Valerie and Ms Joanne. We hope you are enjoying some cooler October days and thinking about pumpkins and other signs of the fall. There are not many here in Miami, although we should see lots of pumpkin patches where we can buy our pumpkins. We have been talking about and learning about sharing with others. Last week, our craft showed many ways we can share our time with others. Remember, we made the clock and then listening and thinking ideas. And I hope I've got mine hanging and I forgot to bring it over, but I hope you remembered to be good at sharing all of your blessings during the week. We like to be asked questions. Today's lesson is about thinking of other people before ourselves. None of us like being bossed and told what to do. We like to be asked questions and give our own ideas, and then we can decide together an agreeable answer. We should always be thinking about what is best for others and not just about ourselves. I wonder if some of you have heard some of Aesop's fables, which are very good stories to help us make wise choices. And often the stories are written with illustrations. And one that you may know is the story of the town mouse and the country mouse. And another one is the very well-known story of the hare and the tortoise having a race. After visiting each other, when you look at the country mouse and the town mouse, after they visited each other, they were happiest where they actually lived. So often it's like you think that it's much more fun doing or living somewhere else. And this way the country mouse went to visit the town mouse, and the town mouse came to visit the country mouse. And after a visit, they both decided that they were very happy living where they were. And sometimes, you know, exploring other ideas or places is good because it makes you more appreciative of where you are. So anyway, today, I have a story to read from the Fable book. And it's a book to remind us, a story rather, to remind us about being kind. And this one is the story of the lion and the mouse. A lion lay asleep in the forest, his great head resting on his paws. A little mouse came upon him unexpectedly, and in her haste and fright to get away, she ran across the lion's nose. And she roused him from his nap. The lion had his huge paw angrily on the tiny creature to kill her. "Oh, spare me," begged the poor mouse. Please let me go, and someday I will repay you." The lion was much amused to think that a mouse could repay him, but he was generous. And he finally let the mouse go. Some days later, whilst stalking in the forest, the lion was caught in the tangles of the hunter's net. Oh, he wasn't able to free himself. And he filled the forest with this roar, enormously angry roar. And the mouse, who knew that voice, and quickly came and found the lion struggling to release himself. And the little mouse saw the ropes, and she thought, I know what I can do. So she gnawed and gnawed until the ropes split apart, and soon the lion was free. And the little mouse said, you laughed when I said I would repay you, but you see, I have repaid you today. And so that they both smiled together, and now we know that if we are kind, very often something kind will happen to us. I think sometimes when I was a little girl, we used to have a little saying, and it was, if basically, if you do something good for somebody, you'll always get it, be repaid. And I think that's true. And sometimes in life, you know, you do something, I think now they talk about passing on, and you do something kind to somebody, and that person may not be able to, you know, be kind back to you, but they will pass on the kindness to somebody else, so that everybody's kindly passing on kindness. And so I guess it spreads out even wider than that. So that's a good reminder. And there are many, many little stories in Aesop's fables. So you might, I think if you go online, you can find quite a lot of them too. And they all have a little moral, I think we call it. So if you read them, it's usually something that is good for you to think about. So Ms. Joanne, I think you might have some ideas and a craft for people today.
I do. Thank you for sharing that story. One of my favorites. I love Aesop's fables because, as Ms. Valerie said, there's always a message in there that helps you be a kinder, happier, more helpful person. So I thought we might make two of the characters in this story. And the first one is a little mouse. And then there's the big wild lion. And I will show you that all you need for this is paper, and maybe you have one of these, the coffee filters that we make so many things out of. And this becomes the lion's mane. And remember, the mouse thought he was going to, nobody's going to listen to him. And the lion probably thought that for a while. But what you want to remember is most anything you can make that's fun in paper is in a circle. If you can draw a circle, which I'm sure you can, or you can trace around the bottom of a glass, and you can use it for so many things. If you use it for a mouse, you just fold your circle in half. Here's the circle. And you fold it in half. And you see you have the shape of the mouse.
Perfect.
Fold it in half, and inside, you just take a piece of tape and tape in his tail. You can't see any of this, I can tell. And more circles for the ears. Stick it together. And you see your little mouse here. He says, you may think I'm little, but I saved your life. And then if you want the lion, you need a good old lunch bag, your school lunch bag. Are you seeing this?
Yes, yes. If you hold it to your face, yeah.
And you draw your face on it. You want some sort of angry eyes, pleasant mouth, and you glue it in the middle of his face. And you cut all these fringes around the coffee filter. Or if you don't have a coffee filter, just draw a circle and cut your fringe for his mane. And remember that a lot of expression comes from the eyes and the eyebrows. So if you want to make him angry, make angry eyebrows. And out of the scrap of your circle, you had a tail that you can put on. And then you can act out this great story.
Yeah, good little play. If you
The lion saying, help me. And then the little tiny mouse comes back and says, you thought I couldn't help you, and here I am, saving your life.
one good turn deserves another.
So remember to always come to help someone. And you'll remember that even if you're not quite so big, you're very important and you have a lot of things to share. A lot of smiles, lots of hello, lots of, hey, I'll help you. The message in all these Aesop's fables are great. So it might be fun to read those every now and then. Thank you, Valerie.
Sorry,
I love those stories.
So great. So do you have some angels today? I have. Okay, I just thought, okay, I had this one, which is unusual, but I thought, okay, it's release, because the lion released the little mouse and didn't eat him for breakfast, and then the little mouse came and released the lion. So
yeah,
that's kind of something that we don't think of, but releasing maybe is when people have problems or you help them solve something. It's a sense of being released and not worried anymore. And then I decided kindness to each other.
yeah.
And it was a kind of a gracious thing to do. I mean, the lion was a nice lion, really, and generous, and made a good choice. So I think that grace is something that we make helpful choices to other people and so on. So I thought we'd have Grace, the angel of grace. Looks like she's actually dancing, actually.
Well,
she's happiness.
right.
Do you have some, Miss Joanna?
I know she's in there. I just haven't found her. But courage, I thought, would be a great one, because that little mouse had to have courage, even though she sort of had, hey, you owe me. But she had to have courage to stand up and say, remember how I helped you? And the lion really was being gracious, as Valerie was accepting the fact that that little mouse is going to help me, even though I didn't in the beginning think that. So these stories all help you think about ways to handle things that may be difficult. Great idea. Hope everybody makes a lion and a mouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we tend to think we're big and strong, so
if you aren't big and heavy, you're not going to be worth much.
Sometimes that's in those little stories you can find a lot of little messages, maybe.
Yes.
That we don't always look at things the right way around. No, he was a wise man. I guess there was a Mr. Aesop somewhere in history. Okay, so perhaps we can put our hands together and say a little prayer before we say au revoir to each other. Dear God, may I always remember to be kind and helpful to others. Let me help to create a kinder world where we can live together in harmony. Amen.
Amen.
So enjoy these cooler days and look around and find the perfect pumpkin for your family this year.
Great idea. It's on the way. We'll be